Hello everyone. I thought I would try to do a quick little, well, it's not going to be quick, let me rephrase that, cooking video. I'm going to make burritos today, and I thought maybe you'd like to watch. So I have an onion here. Can you see me? Hi. Okay. So I have an onion, bell pepper, which I got to take out of the there we go. All right. Bell pepper. Always make sure you take the, what's this called? Sticker off. And then you gotta wash it. So I'm gonna wash it and then I'll come right back. All right, so I washed my bell pepper. Got my bell pepper here. And what I do is I stand it up. So the flat side's on the bottom of the plate. It's for my visually impaired watchers. And you know how the bell pepper has notches? It has like sections almost. I cut down on one of the sections that stick out, and I cut downward, and I just cut them all up like accordingly. Then I go to the next one, sort of like if the bell pepper has corners, you cut across, so you cut the sections off of the bell pepper. You get what I'm saying? Sort of. And I cut these off. Now I'm making burritos today, so I like to cut onions and bell peppers to cook with my ground beef, and so that's what I'm doing. All right, so I've cut that off, so now I kind of have like just the middle part of the bell pepper, so you can see the little seeds inside. And I like to even cut off the little parts here, but like the extra part, I don't like to waste bell pepper, but so I cut that part. I'll put it to the side. So then you have these pieces, and then I'll cut those in smaller pieces across, and even smaller, like sort of like little squares. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not a professional chef, just some other cooking for kids. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this up, and I really should tie my hair back, shouldn't I? I think I'll do that before I come back. I'm new to this, guys. Bear with me, okay? All right, so I'm almost done cutting this. And see, I just cut it in little pieces, but it doesn't have to be perfect because, again, it's going in with the meat to flavor it. It's like naturally flavoring the meat, and I'll be right back. So now, here, I think you can see me. All right, so now I'm gonna get my meat. Hamburger meat. I try to get usually, see, here's it's like a roll of meat. I believe it's 3 pounds. And what I do first is I cut it in the middle, or at least close to the middle, because I'm probably I'll measure it with both hands. Cut it in the middle, and then a part like that. It's about pretty good. Did it pretty much in the middle. But I'm probably gonna cook all this meat, to be honest. Actually, yeah, my kids really like burritos. I'm gonna get a bag just to cover. Show you to rest this down. So then I had cut the meat in half, and now I'm gonna cut down to take this plastic off. Like that. And I took it off. Okay. There we go. So you got half of the meat right here. And what I'll do normally, I have a pan that does not have a what's it called? A handle right here, so I'll have to use a glove with it. But hey, whatever. All right, so
I'll be right back again. So now I've got my meat and I poured in my onions and bell peppers. And now I'm just going to season it a little. Can you see me? Hi. Hello again. Alright, I'll get used to this. Okay, I'm using very little. I don't like to use a lot of salt, but for this meat, you kind of have to. So I kind of feel around so I can see where I'm putting the salt. Alright, so there's that. And I've got pepper right here, just black pepper. Wait a minute. Let me see. Okay, just want to make sure I have the phone. And seasoning it. Hold on. There we go. Now pepper is good on the hamburger meat. Okay. I don't eat hamburger meat, but my kids do. Alright, and this, I got some garlic powder. Kind of like, make sure I get it all over. Okay. Alright, and now I'm going to turn on the stove here. So I like to keep it simple with the meat, especially since it's in a burrito. I mean, you do want to flavor your meat well, you know, but you don't have to overdo it. So, I mean, this really is okay. And then as I cook it, I will add more. I also like to sometimes use chili powder. Actually, do I have chili powder? A lot of times I tell by the smells what things are. This is chipotle, and this will actually work. It's a little bit of a kick. It kind of smells like barbecue. So it's chipotle. Just make sure that's centered. And I have a glove. Hold on 1 second. So we're waiting for that to heat up. I like to touch around and make sure it's hot enough, or it's getting hot. I always make sure if my eyes are on or not. And I'll come back in just a minute when it starts sizzling.
Alright, so right now I'm just waiting for it to cook a little. Here, I'll show you. It's sizzling, and it has the onions and bell peppers. And right now you're just looking at the top part of the raw meat right now. So you can probably hear it. Yeah. You hear that? Okay. So there we go. And I'm going to let it cook a little bit before I start mixing it. That way we get that heat going. Can you guys see my shirt? My son bought me this shirt, my oldest son. He went clothes shopping a couple months back, and he saw this and he thought of me because I used to tell him how, I don't know if you can see it here. Maybe now you can. It's a Power Ranger shirt. I told him how I used to watch Power Rangers, so he saw it. I think he went to Big Five. Yeah, it was Big Five. I mean, I think. Oh, and I went with him. Anyways, so I'm letting it sizzle a little bit. And I'm going to get ready to mix it. But before I do, since I don't have a handle on this pan, I'm going to stop the recording so I can get the, actually, you can come with me. I'm going to get just like a pot holder. And this pot holder I like because it has like rubber on one side, which is good for heat. Of course. So I'm going to hold it on one side and just kind of smash down the meat first. I'm not going to really mix yet. I'm just smashing it down. And now I'm mixing it just a little. Kind of a lot of meat, but it shrinks down. Ground beef shrinks down. And when I get ground beef, for my kids, I usually get at least 80 to 85% lean, because the higher percentage, the less grease that's in your meat. You don't have to
drain it, and for me, like, draining meat is a problem. I'm still just getting used to now, like, cooking ground beef. I can tell when it's done by the texture now. It's only as of recent, because I really didn't trust myself making ground beef before. Now I'm confident. Excuse me. It's all about the texture. When meat is raw, ground beef, this is for my visually impaired or sighted people. I mean, yeah, I know you guys can see the meat, but I mean, the way that I tell if it's done is when it's raw, it's kind of gooey, tougher, sticky, and even with the utensils, you can tell that it's kind of sticky like that. When it's done, it slides off the spoon or the spatula or whatever you're using easier, and when you poke at it, it's not as, it feels like a thick sort of, it's harder to poke through, you know. Same thing with chicken. When chicken is done, you poke through it, the fork should go right through it, and you shouldn't have a tough time poking a knife or a fork through it, you know. So, right now it's still very raw, as you can tell, but there's also quite a bit of meat in here. It's a lot of meat. It's like 3 pounds. It's crazy. But it does shrink down, and believe it or not, my kids love my burritos or tacos, so it does get eaten. So I'm gonna let this cook a little more, and then I will come back. Alright, so I'm letting my meat cook a little bit right now. I'll show you. Here it is. It's cooking. I've mixed it around a little, still cooking, and while that's preparing, I'm making Mexican rice right here. So I did 2 cups of rice. I put oil on the bottom of the pan first, and then I sliced up some onions for flavor, and a little bit of garlic. You probably couldn't see that in there. And then I used like this, what's this thing? I don't know if you can see it. I don't know. It doesn't matter really how you do it, but one of them is called like pollo seasoning or chicken pollo. Pollo means chicken in Spanish. But it looks like polo to you guys, right? It's double L, this is why. So, alright, so again, I put the oil on the bottom, the rice, because we're going to fry it up a little bit, and then, or brown it, and then the onions. So I'll come back. And then, so remember guys, when you do rice, you do 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water. So since I did 2 cups rice, I'm doing 4 cups water. Like I said, I don't make a little bit. I have so that it's just easier with having 3 kids to make enough, you know, if you can. I'm just saying, for me, I'm used to doing it that way. And then my son's a teenager, so yeah. So see, the meat's cooking still. Actually, 17 years ago today, I found out I was pregnant with my oldest son. It's crazy how time flies. I'll never forget that. I was so happy, extremely happy. I was happy each time I knew I was having a baby. But anyways, I'm going to come back. I'm going to let this cook a little. Then I'm going to add the water to my rice and put my beans on. They're just canned refried beans I'm making with it. My lips are really dry, and I don't like my hair like this, but that's what's supposed to be in a video. I mean, I just told on myself. Yeah, I normally don't put my hair back. Just kidding, I do. Or do I? I'll be back in a sec. Here's my meat. It's done. Pretty much done. I'm letting it cook a little longer just to be sure. When you're visually impaired, you want your, well, anytime you want your meat all the way done. But to be extra sure, I'm letting it cook a little bit longer. And while I do that, I'm going to put you guys right here. And then I'm going to open up my can of beans. Hopefully this can opener works today. So let's see. I really don't like the newer can openers. My grandmother had the best one that always just opened everything perfectly and lasted forever. And it actually opened, probably because I was talking crap about it. Nice, I should do that every time. I wanted to show you guys a little trick. So I'm gonna get the pot that I'm putting the beans in, and actually I put some butter on the bottom so that the beans don't burn. I put a little bit of butter on the bottom. So for some of you may know this trick already, but I'm gonna turn the can upside down and the beans are still in there, right? But if you take the can opener and punch a hole in the bottom of the can, like that, it comes right out. See that? Because the pressure, like, helps to push the can beans out. So I'm gonna cook this a little. I've added, let me move this back over here with my big old block of beans that I have to smash down right now. So I've added 4 cups of water because I did 2 cups of rice to my Mexican rice, and then I've added this stuff right here. It's actually something I barely started using. It's tomato sauce, but it's like flavored, so it has a little bit of a kick to it. It's pretty good actually. So I put some of that, maybe about half or more, depending on taste and how much rice you're making. So I'll come back and you'll see me in just a flash. So I'm gonna turn my eye on here and let that warm up for a few seconds, and grab my tortilla. It's flour tortilla, and I'm gonna warm it up on the burner here. This is the way my grandma always did it. My mom, my uncles, and they warm up the tortillas when you make burritos. Some people like them a little bit burnt, some don't. Alright, my kids don't like them too burnt, so that's fine, just so it's warm. Now, try to put a thin layer touching it, but it is my family stuff, so I can do that. Put a little layer down of rice, then a little bit of beans on top. Okay, like that. Yes. And 1 second. Always have a rag. I always wash my hands. I always do all that stuff when I'm cooking. And then I'm gonna get a little bit of meat to put on top right here. Just a little like that. Okay. Cool. Now I'm gonna get some cheese. Sprinkle that on there. It's Monterey Jack. And a little bit of lettuce and tomato. Cool. Hold on. Wipe my hands. Alright, and then I kind of cradle the burrito to make sure everything's all in the middle. He's going to want more cheese than that. My child, he likes cheese. They all do. So then what I do, so I cradle it, meaning I grab both sides of the burrito to make sure it's all in the middle. Then I take it like you're going to wrap a baby and wrap the bottom. So you fold the bottom up first, then take the side and then like that. And the beans also help it to like stick together. Of course, if you want to do sour cream or and then, so the top is open still. I usually leave my top open and maybe stuff it a little more with beans or something like that. Like right now I'm going to put beans in the top. And then a little bit of cheese, so it's coming out the top too, yeah. Like that. Okay. So there is the finished product. And you like how that looks? And now we're gonna have Aiden try it. Move the stuff right there on the counter so that you can, yep, we'll be right
Back in a second. With the burrito. Tell me what you think. Be honest.
So good.
And that's the finished product, folks. Thanks. And that was my cooking video. Say hi.
Hi.
She's waiting for her burrito now, huh?
My name's Jeff. Hi.
Okay, bye. Oh, actually, I hope you liked it, and it will be better next time. This is the first one that I did like fully like this, so thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Gotta make the rest of the burritos now.